Alright, hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December! She looks like Yuki! I said as I hugged my knees under my chin. I was staring at the screen without blinking. My eyes were dry. The volume had been turned down low, so I concentrated to pick up the sound. She looks like Yuki. On the screen, the glamour model was striking poses as she changed into different costumes. Maybe their voices are similar because they have the same jawline, I thought idly. Either way, I couldn't take my eyes off her. You're still watching that? I'm glad you kept this, because I know you'll curse me if I throw it away. Oh look, here, this angle. She looks like Yuki. What are you doing? I had followed Kohai back to his place, and even while he was taking a shower, I had this DVD on repeat. Kohai looked at me as if I was sick, but I ignored him. Hey, nothing's going to come of it, even if you watch it a million times. I knew that. But even so, I kept staring at the girl in the school swimsuit striking poses on the screen. Don't you want to see the real Yuki wear that? I've seen something more revealing this summer. Yeah, but it's different from a school swimsuit. Different fetish. He was right. My phone vibrated. It's from Mikami-sama. I opened her email. Report. Yuki spends her days either knitting or eating oranges. The baby is fine, but the mother isn't feeling so well. Shiro is completely fine. She is experienced after all. P.S. Come get some photographs. I have a few candidates interested in you, that's all. Alright. I closed my phone. Of course, I was going to ignore her PS message. She updates me now and then, I explained to Kohai, who was trying to read over my shoulder. So how are they? Good in general. At first, Mikami's emails were detailed and friendly, but now they were short and concise like a business email template. This was because I kept bothering her with updates too frequently. I was so worried that Yuki wasn't feeling well. Yuki was prone to being careless about her own health, and Mikami-sama didn't strike me as someone attentive. I thought maybe it was a midwife's job to look after her. Well, even if I know how they are, it's not like I can do anything. Wedging the phone back into my pocket, I flicked the play button on the remote control. I resumed viewing the DVD. Oh, stop that. Look at me, Masaki. I had half the mind to ignore him, but he sounded serious, so I looked his way. Here. He pushed an empty cup into my hands and poured me a hot cup of tea. Don't you have a heater? Nah, my parents aren't that wonderful when it comes to noticing things like that. Unlike me, Kohai was already finishing his second cup. Maybe they've got their own reasons. I stared at the stack of textbooks on Kohai's desk. Aren't you lucky you've gained a recommendation letter to a university? You don't seem too impressed. Hey, aren't you studying for the exams? I don't care about them anymore. But you were studying so hard. I don't have a reason anymore. I'm not doing things the same as you. I know what I'm doing is not going to change anything, but I'm still going to go to Sine every day to get a bucket of water thrown at me. Everything had taken such a turn, and everything was turning worse. We had so much fun last year. Yeah, last year, I thought back. It was ironic it didn't look like much had changed from the outside. I was still drinking tea with Kohai chatting in his room, but now it was impossible to imagine Shiro eating her ice cream here or watching soap operas. I was so confused, stuck between a god and a human girl. At the same time, we had fun. Oh look, she looks like Yuki. Can you stop saying that? The girl waved at the camera before the screen went blank. She wasn't smiling just to me, but to every viewer out there. But I couldn't get her smile off my mind. This is good stuff, I commented as I finally sipped the warm tea in my hands. It's expensive stuff. Mayura gave it to me to bring back home. I heard she took you to her place. Mizukami must have told you. She looks like the quiet type, but she sure can gossip. They welcomed me. They thanked me for dating their daughter, for knowing her personality can be difficult. His face looked tense as he said that. But isn't this what you wanted? Don't talk about things you don't know about. It doesn't matter whether it was a conscious or subconscious decision. Everybody does what they want. But your actions don't necessarily give you the results you hope for. Mayura is really nice. I can't imagine it. Kohai chuckled at my disbelief. She doesn't complain even when I'm in this state. Now that's what I call being nice. She lets me do what I want and she listens to what I have to say. I'm grateful, but it's torture. I'd feel better if she'd just lash out at me. Sometimes I think she's being nice to make me feel guilty. At least you have somebody with you. You do realize you sound jaded compared to me, don't you? I have nobody left. I wouldn't know how you feel just the way you wouldn't know how it feels to be in my position. The grass is greener on the other side. The room was cold even with the windows shut. It cooled down my head, sharpening my mind, turning me more aware. Sanity was always there at times when you least wanted it. You know, I used to have a crush on Yuki before. I couldn't help it. I choked on my drink and coughed. I'm not saying this to wage war against you. I'm talking about the past when we were kids. Come on, she's beautiful. Of course, I'd feel something for her. Why are you telling me this now? My throat hurt. Well, maybe it's because she's been my crush before. I always keep an eye out for her. So what do you think? What do I think? I asked back, not knowing exactly what he was trying to ask. I'm asking you, what do you think of her? She's dominated me for the most part. What do you mean? That I have it so bad I'm hopeless. Do you love her? I'm only going to answer that question after I've told her in person. Suit yourself then, Kohai said, but he looked unsatisfied. But what do you mean when you say for the most part? I have to do something for Yuki. Then I'm done. Did she ask you to jump over the fire for me? Isn't that a quote from Shiro, whatever? The sounds of the waves? Alright, Japanese culture references. Shut it. I could read the Book of Job if I wanted an old book, but for all I care. Are you saying that you need to prove yourself? That's another biblical reference for those of you who didn't get that. Yeah. Is that so? Hey. Kohai tried pouring another cup of tea, but noticed the pot was empty. We could hear footsteps outside. I thought it must be Mizouho. Senpai! It wasn't. The door was open, so I let myself in. And, whoa, this place is dark. She took a step back. Masaki's here. No wonder this place feels so gloomy. What's that? We looked at what she was pointing at. This? We stiffened, searching for excuses. We must have looked pathetic. The girl in the DVD package left on the table was practically naked. That must be Konno-senpai's doing. We were both ready to be punished, but I was surprised she just sighed. I'm going home. I decided to leave before she could change her mind. Why don't you bring that DVD home with you? Because if I take it home with me, I'll watch it till it wears down. I find that convincing. She smiled slightly, but then she looked afraid. Did I really look that sick in the head? I probably did. I'll bring some spare clothes tomorrow, Kohai, I said before I left the room and closed the door. Kohai and Mayuri were left standing in the dark room, alone. Kohai-senpai, what did he mean by bringing spare clothes? That's because... No, it's alright, don't tell me. She dropped on her knees and hugged him from behind. I know why. I don't need to hear it. As I walked out of Kohai's house, I'd noticed I didn't hear any of his screams. For once, something had changed. Phew! Nature was unchanging, though. When I breathed out, my breath fogged the air. It was only the mentality of people that changed constantly. Thanks to all the warm tea I had, I didn't feel cold outside. But I was still able to enjoy the outdoors. But I knew, with the time, cold would snatch whatever warmth I had away. Walking through the snowy streets, even the street lamps seemed to gleam white. Looking up, I felt blinded by their harsh light. It was here. I stopped. A god in the shape of a human must be killed. That was where I had the conversation with Shiro. I was mesmerized by her. She would run towards me on Shiro, her wolf, and... Hey you! Stop there! Bowl me over and send me flying like this. What? I flew like a football and landed on my face in the snow. Oi! Why didn't you notice me following you this entire time? It's no fun to stalk somebody if they don't fear you. I find your habits hard to encourage, Mizuho-san. Hey, what's that you're wearing? Behold my new optical illusion, Mino. Is that like an invisibility cloak? The prototype caused only your clothes to turn invisible. That was the real problem. Actually, I'd like it if you could give me the prototype for my special needs. Wait, why is it a Mino? Because we live in the snowy region, of course! How traditional. It's oozing with the old world charm. Let's put it that way, Mayoi-san. I had expected you to use your highly augmented pervert skills to notice any woman near you and turn around. But you have disappointed me. Does this mean that you have lost your only superior ability and become a worthless bit of scum? Kasumi-san, I'd appreciate it if you toned down a bit because Masaki tender-hearted Konno is a bit hurt. Don't worry, Masaki is just as potent as you remember him to be. Mizukami-san said as she stopped Kazumi from ranting. It's just that he's obsessed with one woman, that's all. Stop hugging yourself like I'm thinking of doing something to you. Masaki-sama, you really look like you have your hands full. I looked at Maruo and realized he was the only person capable of making a regular conversation among all of them. For a moment, in my eyes, he looked like a god. Wait a minute, he really was one. What was I talking about? Anyway, why are you all here, I asked as I dusted the snow off the top of my head. We're here to post military draft papers. And who are you planning war on? She snorted with a smug look on her face. It was a bit irritating. We must fight the white shadows that are terrorizing Tagami Town. Those who frighten the young and steal our petite tomatoes. We have been fighting those satanic creatures for a month already. That's not a very long time. And they aren't satanic creatures but the servants of our god. We have persevered. She ignored me. However, the numbers are too numerous for our team. Therefore, she stabbed a finger at me. I command you to join our army. Private Masaki. What? It's already decided. We shall work day and night to protect our hometown. We shall not complain, but we have no reward for our hard work. But when it's too cold, we will rest sometimes. That is how it shall be. She wasn't taking no for an answer. Mizouho pointed her finger towards the moon. Actually, towards the direction of my house, so I didn't think there was any meaning to it. We are Mizouho Touyama Protection Squad. Deja vu. Alright, I'm gonna end this off here. So, my name is Dragonite. I hope you all are enjoying this, and I will see you all later.